Rwanda ruzira 50. Radio Imanzi ijana gatanu n'igice kimwe FM.
We got you updated. This is Radio Imanzi News in English.
You are tuned to Radio Imanzi, broadcasting from Kigali. Here is the news in English, brought to you by Fiona Umuganwa. The headlines. Prime Minister Edward Ngirente has made case for investing in digital skilling of youth. The government of Rwanda has warned against meat price hiking amid crackdown on hygienic butcheries. The chairman of the African Union has warned Russian President Vladimir Putin that African countries are suffering from surging food prices as a result of the Ukraine crisis. Welcome back. News in detail. Rwanda is building a continental innovation hub that will enable the country to raise over $1 billion in seed capital in the next 5 years, but also attract over 1,000 startup businesses in Africa. The hub, estimated to cost $20 billion, is currently being built in the heart of Kigali by Norskin East Africa, a non-profit, non-religious and non-partisan foundation dedicated to helping entrepreneurs solve the world's greatest challenges. Currently, the hub has started an operating health tech hub that was funded by Novartis Foundation at a tune of $500,000 and housing 260 startups in Africa, of which only 60% Rwandan. The mega tech facility will be home to different tech and innovation hubs in health, fintech, clean energy, climate, education, agriculture, and media, among others. Pascal Murasira, managing director of Norskin East Africa, says they have already managed to raise $8 billion from investor venture capital financing for the startups operating since January, when the center opened doors. The facility is expected to enable the Rwandan government's strategy of becoming an ICT and innovation hub in Africa. Prime Minister Edward Ngirente has made case for investing in digital skilling of youth. The Premier was speaking at the 3-day ongoing Generation Connect Global Youth Summit 2022, which brought together over 500 youth from 115 countries. The Prime Minister said the extent to which the global economies can grow would depend on the ability to ensure equitable access to technology, as well as upskilling and risking global population, especially the young people.
Reports measuring how many children and youth have internet access at home revealed that over 2/3 of school-age children between 3 and 17 years, roughly about 1.3 billion people, and 63% of youth aged between 15 and 24 years lack internet access at home. And this is a huge number. Without affordable access to connectivity, majority of young people will not benefit from these opportunities, hence worsening the youth unemployment rates. In Rwanda, we have embraced the use of digital technologies as engine of transformation. Our national strategy for transformation targets to ensure digital literacy for all youth, which means 16 to 30 years by 2024. This will be done through the implementation of a national digital literacy program with the objective of achieving digital literacy of at least 60% among adults by 2024.
Doreen Borden-Martin, the Director of Telecommunication Development Bureau, said that among the concrete steps taken to ensure equitable access to technology is fostering youth dialogue and perspective in decision-making processes.
Our role is to help you in any way that we can to really create a shared vision and to be able to translate that vision into a concrete call to action, one that we can take forward to our World Telecommunications Development Conference. We want to make sure that your voices are heard loudly and clearly. In the debates that are going to culminate next week in our WTDC, we will have the Kigali Action Plan. We believe that your call to action is an important part of that plan, and we will be working to shape the future digital development agenda for the next 4 years, and we need to hear your voices.
Designed by young people for young people, this fully interactive summit recognizes the role of digital natives as leaders of the rapidly changing technological environment and of our future. Open to 15 to 29 years olds from around the world, the summit aims to engage global youth on the big issues of digital transformation, encourage young people to participate as equal partners with today's leaders of digital change, and empower youth with skills and opportunities to build their vision of a safe, inclusive, connected future. Still on matters of technology, health and technology professionals say that it is essential for the youth to be well versed with the healthcare technology to provide aid in times of need. The observation was made at the International Health Summit ongoing in Kigali that gathered health and technological professionals in Rwanda and the world at large, with the aim to expand technology innovations that could benefit the health sector. Technological expert Peace Iraguha Ndoli says the technology she works with is meant to prevent diseases that are not contagious, as well as provide residents with information regarding them.
This is called Lifetime Health, and what it does is leverage on technology to create a solution around lifestyle diseases. So these are the diseases like diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, and the likes. And what it does is create health challenges and link our clients to people who are service providers in these three sectors, which are nutritional health, mental health, and also physical fitness. So what we're trying to do is like engage people in these activities so as to create more healthy living and also give control to our clients in terms of their health and their health styles. So we're doing this through a mobile application, and we'll be creating different challenges where people can like set goals. Let's say if it's working out, if it's some liters of water you need to drink per week. So we give you the basic recommendations, and then you set your own goals. And by achieving those small goals in your daily activities, you collect points. And those points are redeemed through our partners who are in the three sectors I mentioned: mental health, nutritional health, and physical fitness.
The country director of the No Skin Foundation in Rwanda said some of the challenges faced by youth in the technological field include not having enough capital to put in their projects in practice or sponsors to lend them a helping hand they need to reach the residents they want to service. Head of the Novartis Foundation on Arts emphasizes that one of the advantages of integrated technology into healthcare is that complications and diseases are discovered early on a good example being technological advancements in the US being able to predict whether a person is at a high risk of suffering a stroke. She added on that technology availed to save lives.
I think technology can definitely help address the shortage of specialists and skilled health professionals in the world, not only in Africa, but also in Africa, because the combination of human power with the digital power is just much more than the sum of the two together. If we work with health workers that are less skilled, you can centralize the experts, the specialists in one place, and they can coach the less skilled health workers by telehealth or virtual services, which is really very powerful. We have seen during the COVID pandemic, when the governments really were trying to keep social distancing in order, and they were trying not to disrupt the health services for people, we've seen an explosion and a really unprecedented expansion of virtual health and care services. And that shows the power of how we can use digital technology to address the weaknesses in our current health systems. We will never be able to equip all the health systems across Africa with the millions of health workers we need now. They are needed now, not in 10 years, also in 10 years, but also now. So we need to be innovative. We need to create new ways of delivering health and care. And in fact, I think the best way for remediating the shortage of health workers is that we prevent people to get sick. If we can make our health systems becoming not so reactive, waiting until people to get sick to take care of them, but becoming more preventive. If they are proactive, they know where people at risk are living, they know what kind of interventions can be implemented to address those. So that is really the new way we have to look at health systems.
Universal health coverage as part of the Sustainable Development Goals cannot be achieved if anyone is left behind. But if the global development community is to follow the mantra, nothing about us without us, the healthcare needs of today's young people must be catered for, and they should be a part of conversations around how to improve their own access to healthcare. The Rwanda Customer Protection Authority, RICA, has warned against the slaughterhouses and butcheries that have increased meat prices across the country. Beatrice Umukiza, the Director General of Rwanda Inspectorate Competition and Consumer Protection Authority, said based on an ongoing inspection across the country, specifically in Kigali City, they saw a trend where operators continue to increase meat prices without clear reasons. While veterinary officer at Nyabugogo Saban Apacha said the increase of meat prices is caused by different factors due to the ongoing campaign to crack down on substandard slaughterhouses and butcheries. Some were closed, which led to shortage of meat. This means some butcheries were illegally buying meat from such closed slaughterhouses, and this immediately affected supply and led to an increase in prices. An investigation carried out by RICA on 48 slaughterhouses across the country established that the safety and quality compliance level was at over 70% for only 7 of them, between 50% and 69% for 20 of them, and at least less than 50% for 21 of slaughterhouses inspected. The Rwanda Airports Company has conducted an aerodrome simulation emergency exercise to test Kigali International Airport's response preparedness and communications capabilities in the event of a natural emergency. The exercise comes at a time Rwanda expects high traffic at the airport during the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting due to take place from the week of June 20th. The managing director of Rwanda Airports Company, RSC Charles Habonimana, explains the importance of such exercise.
Is important, and it's a requirement of the regulators of civil aviation authorities, whether national or international. The emergency exercise, it's an exercise that we conduct every 2 years in order to assess our readiness to save lives and also to bring back the airport in normal operations. Actual exercise has been conducted in collaboration with other stakeholders, not only the airport operators, but also the other stakeholders, including the government institutions, the authorities, civil and military and police in security organs, and it has been achieved in a remarkable, I can say that this has been well achieved as we planned.
The Minister of Infrastructure, Nsabimana Ernest, finds the practice a great opportunity to showcase capability when it comes to emergency management.
It shows the readiness and the capability of the airport in terms of equipment, in terms of communication, in terms of management, in terms of course how we should manage any task at entire airport. So if the airport is ready, if the airport is capable, it has the ability to respond to this such as emergency.
The exercise, which takes place every 2 years, took place in 2019 and was scheduled to resume in 2021, but unable due to the measures meant to avoid the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. All international airports are required to exercise by the International Civil Aviation Organization.
Some items of international news on Radio Imanzi.
The East African Community has tabled a $91.5 million budget for the financial year 2022-2023. The East African Community Chair of the Council of Ministers and Kenyan Minister for East African Affairs, Betty Maina, said that the rising commodity prices is negatively impacting the economy of the region. According to the legislators, the East African Community budget has reduced by almost $30 million from $120 million 5 years ago to the current $91 million. The chairperson of the African Union and Senegal's President Macky Sall has warned Russian President Vladimir Putin that African countries are suffering from surging food prices as a result of Moscow's military operation in Ukraine. The talks between Putin and Sall in Russia are focused on how to get stuck grain supplies moving again. On his part, Sall sided with the Kremlin's view that Western sanctions have exacerbated grain and fertilizer shortages and called for the food sector to be left out of the sanctions. The UN fears a hurricane of famine, mainly in African countries, which imported 44% of their wheat from Russia and Ukraine between 2018 and 2020, especially since no ship can leave Ukrainian ports because of the conflict. The African Development Bank says wheat prices have soared around 45% as a result of the supply disruption. Russia, the world's largest wheat exporter, has urged the West to lift sanctions imposed over its military action in Ukraine so that grain starts flowing freely to global markets. While food and fertilizer are exempt, sanctions have targeted Russian shipping and made international shipping companies reluctant to transport Russian cargoes. With the conflict in Ukraine now in its fourth month, world leaders have ramped up calls for solutions. World Trade Organization Director General Ngozi Okonjo said about 25 million tons of Ukrainian grain are in storage and another 25 million tons could be harvested next month. The Tanzanian Meteorological Agency has cautioned of extreme weather conditions in several parts of the country that could affect human and animal health for the next 3 months. Several parts of the country will experience cold weather accompanied with strong winds compared to the usual temperatures during this time of the year. The Director of Research and Weather Forecast at the Tanzanian Meteorology Agency says diseases related to cold weather, such as pneumonia, may occur. Dust conditions driven by strong winds in some areas are expected to emerge and could affect human and animal health alike. The Malian and Dutch Red Cross organizations have said a vehicle transporting a Red Cross team came under a hail of gunfire in western Mali, killing a worker and the car's driver. Witnesses say the attackers were riding motorcycles when they shot at the vehicle near Kais. The aid group said in a statement announcing the days that the Malian Red Cross condemns with the utmost firmness this incident, which undermines the humanitarian mission aimed at vulnerable populations.
Economic news is a regular feature on Radio Imanzi.
Now the Rwanda Stock Exchange Market Report. The trading session recorded a total turnover of 125,042,000 Rwandan francs worth of bonds traded in one deal on the fixed income market and 1,233,500 Rwandan francs from 5,500 shares traded in two deals on the equities market. Bank of Kigali closed the counter at 261 Rwandan francs. The trading session recorded a total turnover of 913,500 Rwandan francs from 3,500 shares traded in one deal. Bralirwa closed the counter at 160 Rwandan francs. The trading session recorded a total turnover of 330,000 Rwandan francs from 2,000 shares traded in one deal. I&M Bank closed the counter at 43 Rwandan francs. Simerwa at 120 Rwandan francs. M10 Rwanda at 178 Rwandan francs. Equity Bank at 440 Rwandan francs. Kenya Commercial Bank at 370 Rwandan francs. National Media Group at 1,200 Rwandan francs. Uchumi Supermarket at 104 Rwandan francs. And RH Buffalo closed the counter at 526 Rwandan francs as the market closed. Moving on ahead with the currency market review of today. The Kenyan shilling buying price was 8.6 Rwandan francs and the selling price was 8.8 Rwandan francs. The Tanzanian shilling buying price was 0.43 Rwandan francs and the selling price was 0.44 Rwandan francs. Ugandan shilling buying price was 0.271 Rwandan francs, and the selling price was 0.276 Rwandan francs. Burundian franc buying price was 0.49 Rwandan francs, and the selling price was 0.5 Rwandan francs. The US dollar buying price was 1,012 Rwandan francs, and the selling price was 1,032 Rwandan francs. The British pound buying price was 1,273 Rwandan francs, and the selling price was 1,298 Rwandan francs. The euro buying price was 1,088 Rwandan francs, and the selling price was 1,110 Rwandan francs. With that, we come to the end of tonight's edition.